Ann Curtis here. I am the chair at Women's Fund El Dorado, and I am really excited to kick off our virtual ballot showcase. We did have our live one, so hopefully you were able to come. If you weren't, or if you just want more information to remind you of the fabulous nonprofits that we have on our ballot this year, you can check out the videos. Before I jump into that, I wanted to thank some really important people in this process. Of course, the nonprofits who apply every year and do great work in our community. We have a good ballot this year. It's really exciting to see the work that's being done. I really wanted to thank the grants committee. Their work is essential in this. Without them, we wouldn't have a ballot. They read all the applications, they rate them, they set the ballot, and it's tough. There's some really, really great applications that come in for funding. So we'd like to thank our grants committee, Terry Whiting, she's our chair. We have Susan McGovern, Connie Zielinski, Nancy Herman, Stephanie Schrum, Rachel Stahl, Martha Repschlanger, and you guys do great work, and we really appreciate you. It takes a lot of time and energy, and that's wonderful. Thank you. I'd also like to appreciate Kathy Harris, who is our admin, who does all the hard work behind the scenes to make this happen. Additionally, we have some really wonderful sponsors who make it so this work happens and continues to roll forward, and we continue to give $100,000 in our local community to all the nonprofits and to all of our friends and neighbors, help support the place where we live. We have Christine Rieg from Cap Trust and El Dorado Savings Bank. Those are our silver sponsors. Our bronze sponsors are Cold Springs Dental, Carter Kelly Construction, El Dorado Disposal, and Barsati Family Juice Company. A WIC-line sponsor for our scholarship program is U.S. Bank, and an event sponsor are Hop and Cottrell. So thank you all for your sponsorship. Now, how do you vote? You become a Women's Fund member. So members, make sure that you vote. Our ballot is live starting tonight after the ballot showcase event on March 30th, all the way through April 14th when our voting ends. The actual final grant recipients for $100,000 will be selected by you. If you'd like to become a member, you can do that today on our website and join, and then you get a vote. We love what we do. We couldn't do this without all of our fabulous nonprofit partners and our members. So thank you for all of your dedication to really giving in the place that we live. All right, we'll see you at an event soon. Can't wait to see the final results of the voting.
Recovery in Action is a nonprofit substance use disorder treatment program located in Diamond Springs, California. The program was formed by several individuals who had found meaningful recovery from substance use in social support groups. The founders of Recovery in Action have been living in recovery for over 30 years and have been sharing the message of a life in recovery for the duration. We continue to work and grow within our community, showing what Recovery in Action looks like. When I is replaced with we, illness becomes wellness. Our team is currently helping 51 of our community members with their recovery needs. The service currently offered are intensive outpatient, care coordination, navigation, referral, assessments, UA, nail test, hair test, and early intervention with aftercare. Within this office are several smaller offices where counseling and case management sessions occur. Recovery in Action also has a space for group therapy that can accommodate many clients and give them that integral piece of substance use disorder treatment. The caring and professional staff work with clients in an individualized treatment method. Evidence-based treatments are utilized in building meaningful treatment goals that the client feels connected to. The staff also offers crisis intervention, care coordination, and a space for people in recovery to feel safe.
Hi, my name's Sarah, and I was in active addiction for 18 years. With the help of Recovery in Action, I have 7 years clean. I've reunited with my daughter. I have a stable job. I have a house. and I've been able to get my life back together. Thank you, Recovery in Action, for all you've done for me.
But Recovery in Action isn't done growing. In just a short time, the team was able to acquire contracts with both El Dorado County Child Support Services and El Dorado County Drug Medi-Cal. This effectively created more access to substance use disorder treatment within El Dorado County. We continue to be growing and looking for ways to further our reach and spread the message of meaningful recovery that can be integrated into everyday life, improving the life of our clients and our community as a whole. Recovery in Action has had a significant impact on the community in El Dorado County. Recovery in Action has been able to help 615 community members with their substance use and recovery needs in the past 18 months. These are 615 people who were able to receive treatment within El Dorado County, not having to travel and creating additional barriers to treatment. Recovery in Action is bridging a gap in recovery treatment services in El Dorado County, being the only Drug Medi-Cal certified substance use disorder treatment program. Recovery in Action's strategic goal is to develop new spaces and direct services that provide youth substance use treatment, recovery, family support, and community education with outreach. These services all support our strategic plan of working with our community, service agencies, and clients to build a community-based focus on giving our youth and their families local care and support full care opportunity to reach their full potential and thrive in the midst of the pervasive negative effects of substance use in our youth. According to El Dorado 2023, there were 18,421 people within El Dorado County aged 10 to 17 years old. Roughly 10% of youth in California report using drugs in the last month. Prevention and education services can help youth with these inevitable challenges.
Greetings, members of the Women's Fund of El Dorado. This is Maureen Dion Perry. I'm the president of Housing El Dorado. We are very excited about the Jumpstart ADU project. El Dorado County desperately needs more affordable housing, and this project will help us do that quickly. Now I'd like to introduce Frank Porter, Vice President of Housing El Dorado, who's the lead on this project. Thank you.
Hi, Maureen, thank you for that introduction. And I'm down here on the corner of your screen. Just the Jumpstart ADU Cottage project is a project to build on the work going on elsewhere in the state and to adapt and replicate established and proven strategies to accelerate the construction of ADU units. We would develop outreach materials and our ADU support services tailored to El Dorado County, and essentially to demystify the ADU development process for homeowners and property owners. Why build ADUs? Well, it really is our backyard solution. ADUs are a great option for those interested in providing affordable housing to a family, to friend or family member, or to age in place, or to create a new income source. They come in all sorts of different types. Basic categories are detached, attached units, interior conversion units, garage apartment units, or above garage units. What makes them such a big deal? They really offer homeowners choice. They offer extra income. They give families flexibility. Small homes are a great option for families looking to help seniors age or shelter family members in need or live intergenerationally. They build and preserve community by creating and renting small units. Homeowners can house essential community members that might otherwise be priced out of a neighborhood and give families viable options to keep their homes. They build wealth by small homes make it easier to afford property, and property ownership builds intergenerational wealth. And they are naturally affordable. They are smaller homes. They are also less expensive to build, primarily because the infrastructure is already the sewers, the roads, utilities. Changes in state law have made it easier to build an ADU. The review process has been streamlined. parking requirements reduced, fees have been lowered, lot size requirements have also changed. The County Board of Supervisors in 2021 approved a contract with an architectural firm to develop 2 pre-approved ADU building plans that are due to be released this year. In last March in 2022, the Board of Supervisors approved a housing element, which includes a goal of building 338 desperately needed ADU units by 2029. And we think that this project will help accomplish that goal. Since 2022, Housing El Dorado has completed extensive research on the ADU building process, and we've been tracking and documenting a pilot ADU project right here in Placerville. And we've collaborated with statewide ADU experts in finance and construction and in law about the best way to put together a project. In our research, this chart really does a nice job of capturing what we've learned, and that is that based on research by groups working with ADUs, this is kind of the pathway that homeowners follow, or property owners, of getting inspired about building an ADU, getting educated, and then getting the thing built. And all along this pathway, they can get hung up on different things that prevent them from completing the project. Our project is meant to help them overcome that and keep those projects moving forward. So our Jumpstart project staff and volunteers would be doing these things, are listed here. We've already collected county assessor data and GIS data, and we're eager to identify suitable properties for ADU development. We would be contacting property owners, and we'd be continuing our collaboration work that we've already done and want to extend with other partners in this project. So let's jumpstart ADU cottage construction in El Dorado County. We hope you'll support our proposal. Thank you very much for your attention.
For more than 100 years, Big Brothers and Big Sisters has operated under the belief that inherent in every child is the ability to succeed and thrive in life. As the nation's largest donor and volunteer-supported mentoring network, Big Brothers and Big Sisters makes meaningful monitored matches between adult volunteers, also known as Bigs, and children, also known as Littles, ages 3 through 18, in communities across the country. Locally, we serve over 200 children every year. We develop positive relationships that have direct and lasting effects on the lives of young people. Big Brothers Big Sisters is applying for an inspiration grant for our Bigs in Blue program. Bigs in Blue currently operates in Placerville and in Cameron Park. The program has been so successful that our goal is to create a third opportunity in El Dorado Hills, serving another 15 to 25 children.
Here in Placerville, we have the fortunate pleasure to work hand in hand with local agencies, particularly the El Dorado Sheriff's Department, Tribal Police, Probation, the District Attorney's Office, and Fire Rescue. These individuals, although rightfully filled to the brim with responsibility, have dedicated their limited time to children who desperately need the power of mentoring. Our youth come from local schools and are specifically matched to a Big whose interests are aligned with one another. This relationship is obtained through the school year, where Bigs and Littles participate in activities centered around team building, healthy relationships, and much more. Our goal is to increase the confidence of our Littles by expressing how desired and needed they are. Our hope is that our matches will continue to obtain their relationship during the off-season and grow stronger with time.
The goal of our program is to help at-risk youth make healthy choices in their lives and to impact their positive development into adults by improving their self-confidence, academic performance, attitude towards school, and their relationships with their parents, peers, and other adults. This is a wonderful opportunity for our first responders to build meaningful relationships with the area children. The hope is that the children will learn to trust officers in their community and know they are there to help in times of need. This type of interaction with law enforcement will truly have a positive impact on the well-being of local neighborhoods and the children in our areas.
In 2001, Eldorado Musical Theater opened their doors to fill the need for a youth theater company in this area. We began on a small stage, moving from gymnasium to rehearse our productions. Over the last 20 years, we have grown to be the largest user of the Harris Center in Folsom, servicing over 600 kids a year in Broadway musicals and classes. Yes, we mostly perform musicals, but our main purpose is much more than putting on high-quality productions. Our primary mission is to build confidence for life through excellence in theater. Over our 20 years, we have seen thousands of kids come through our door with their heads down, shy, and unsure of themselves. One show with us and we can see them become happier, more talkative, and a little more sure, knowing that they can. Through working together, our performers not only learn performance skills, they also learn teamwork, communication, and how to take on a challenge, and often form lifelong friendships. After walking through this building, we could instantly see the future of Eldorado Musical Theater before our eyes. This space is the key to EDMT's much-needed expansion. This building allows 3 large dance studios, 2 rooms for acting classes, as well as 3 smaller studios for vocal lessons. Having all these rooms will permit us to teach more classes per day, reach more ages, and expand the types of classes taught. The building's current warehouse space easily transitions into our set shop where we build the pieces needed for our shows, and a good portion of the upstairs space will become our costume shop. These additions will make a world of difference for us, but the space we are most excited for is a portion of the warehouse that will become our very own theater. Continued performances at the Harris Center, plus the creation of this new theater, will empower us to be in control of our organization in a way we never have before, and allow more performance opportunities for the youth in our community. The community is expanding, and we plan to expand with it. More and more homes are being built in this area, and before we know it, many more young people will be looking for local activities. We want to give every youth in our community the opportunity to be a part of Eldorado Musical Theater, to have a safe space to go where they can make friends, achieve goals, build confidence, be themselves, and most importantly, realize their worth. We say that musical theater is the greatest team sport. Without every single person involved doing their part, we don't have a show. At EDMT, no one wins and no one loses. We are a team working together towards a common goal, and everyone is a part of each victory. That's what makes us a family. In this building, we see the future of Eldorado Musical Theater, the future of this community, and the future of our children.
Hey everyone, my name is Bob Hess and I'm the chair of the Community Emergency Radio Association, serving the communities of El Dorado County. We are thrilled to be chosen as one of the candidates for your ACORN grants. Our Neighborhood Radio Watch program has several hundred radio users throughout El Dorado County. They use low-cost battery-operated radios tied to our free access communication system that will keep them safer, especially when cell phone and internet service becomes unavailable. When all else fails, their radios will continue to work. These radios depend on 7 remote communication sites to extend coverage over most of our county's western slope 24/7. We're asking the Women's Fund of El Dorado for a grant to purchase an auto-start generator for one of these sites that currently only has battery backup power. Thanks for considering our grant request. Now let's get with it.
Fear of not having a cell phone to communicate in the case of an emergency, like it happened at the campfire.
85 people died when the campfire burned down the town of Paradise on November 8, 2018. Many of the victims never got a warning, and our modern communications infrastructure failed when cell phones went down as tens of thousands tried to evacuate all at once.
My name is Alan Thompson, and I'm the Public Information Officer for the Community Emergency Radio Association. 8 days after the campfire, I worked in Paradise to help restore cell phone service that had been disabled by the campfire. I saw firsthand just how easily cell phone service can be disabled during disasters and emergencies. That fire made me realize that we have the same dangerous fire conditions in El Dorado County and these same vulnerabilities in our own emergency communication system. I came home determined to do anything I could help. Fortunately, several people in the community who felt the same way I did stepped forward to create the Neighborhood Radio Watch program. Without them, we would not have a program. We're going to share with you a few comments from some of these folks and the direct impact that the Neighborhood Radio Watch had on their own lives, especially during the Caldor fire. First, we're going to hear from Mike Graves. During one of our weekly on-air radio safety nets, tell us about his experience with the Neighborhood Radio Watch and how that helped him prepare for evacuation during the cable fire in Camino.
Next up is Wendy and Mike, WRMR 772.
Good evening. I'm kind of stuck around tonight just to thank everybody. This is Mike, WRMR 772. I was on the scanner and home taking care of my mom when this fire broke out, and I got to tell you, just the information that we got over the Neighborhood Radio Watch was extremely helpful. We had 21 horses over by Ghost Mountain that had to be evacuated, and without the radio watch, we would have not had the jump we needed to get over there. And we were able to get all of those out, and there was a few people that showed up with trailers to help us out, and if they're on the radio watch, I want to thank those people as well. But that's what I had to add in. Great job, and thanks.
Next, we'll hear Sherry Hawk talk about how reassuring it was to have the Neighborhood Radio Watch available as a backup communication system during the Caldor fire.
The Caldor fire broke out south of Pollock Pines in August 2021, and Sherry's Neighborhood Radio Watch faced its first major test.
For me, it was calming to know what was happening, and I can get choked up when it comes to that because it was a huge help in our community.
Sherry's home was spared.
And finally, we'll hear Eileen Strandfeld, who lived in Grizzly Flats, tell how the Neighborhood Radio Watch helped her escape the fire the night that it burned down her community.
I had been monitoring Neighborhood Radio Watch, so I started packing. A number of my neighbors did not have radios. I was listening to the radio. I could hear what was going on the scanner. I knew that the fire was getting close, and I was sending out regular updates that I was getting from the radio watch. About 9 o'clock, I walked outside. It was extremely hot. And by the time I walked back into the house, the code red came through. So I immediately got on the radio and contacted quite a few people I knew through a group text that didn't have radios. And all I put down was evacuate.
And tell everybody how your house made out.
Oh, the house is a total loss. Spoke to Chief Matthews, called me and informed me that my house was gone. He also told me, had I not left when I did, chances are I wouldn't have been able to get all the way down the mountain. He believes that by the time he sent out the code red, an hour later, my house was gone.
And that's what this Neighborhood Radio Watch program is all about. Working together in our community with your help, if we can save just one life, whether it's a family member, a friend, a neighbor, or somebody you may never even meet, what could be better than that? On behalf of the Community Emergency Radio Association and all of our Neighborhood Radio Watch members, thank you so much to all of the members of the Women's Fund of El Dorado County for considering our grant proposal.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Fry-Thomas, and I'm the Executive Director of Mother Teresa Maternity Home here in Placerville. Our organization provides a temporary residence in a safe environment for pregnant women in need in order to assist them in completing their pregnancy in safety and comfort, and with referrals to existing community services and aid agencies. We have been meeting our mission now for almost 2.5 decades, and we have served almost 400 women in that time. We are proud of the impact that we have had on our clients as we help them build sturdy scaffolding for their future and the future of their newborns. Our residents begin our program pregnant while they are dealing with a frightening amount of heavy trauma. Homelessness, unemployment, trafficking, domestic abuse, and negative coping skills have overwhelmed their lives. While they work to change their future through accessing better physical and mental health care, parenting classes, employment, counseling, and other opportunities, our staff is dedicated to providing these contacts as well as mentorship and safety for their entire stay. Unlike many transitional housing programs, which actively discourage pregnant women, these clients are our sole focus for their entire stay, which can last until their newborn is 3 months old. What are some examples of our impact? Let me tell you about the ways we have assisted some of our residents in just the past year. One resident came to us 4 months pregnant from a human trafficking situation, a life of chaos and uncertainty. She arrived with only the clothing she was wearing. We were able to assist her in getting her California ID and replacing her birth certificate. She was then connected with El Dorado County Services, WIC, and an obstetrician. We took her to parenting classes, sobriety support meetings, and counseling appointments. She was able to find employment, and by the time she left our program, when her daughter was 3 months old, she was successfully moving into her own apartment with those community-based support systems in place to help when needed. Another resident came to Mother Teresa Maternity Home when she lost her housing. She did not have a local family safety net, so no one could take her in as a roommate. Because she was unemployed and pregnant, she wasn't able to quickly find a new home and had begun sleeping in her car. While with our program, she was able to get some job training and certification, which helped her find good employment. She also had our experienced staff to rely on when there were complications when her baby was born, and she needed support while she recovered. Both of these women have successfully settled in El Dorado County, as do many of our program participants. Recently, we were able to work with a young lady in our program who completed her high school diploma and began college while at Mother Teresa Maternity Home. In fact, many of our residents take college-level classes while here. We are really proud of the success of each of our residents, and we are anxious to continue our work. Sadly, at the very beginning of 2023, our residential facility sustained some significant damage during the big storms that pummeled El Dorado County. Our current clients were rehoused outside of El Dorado County, but we cannot accept new residents until we repair this damage. Preliminary bids have been sought for the needed repairs. We are requesting an ACORN grant of $8,000. Should we receive that grant, the funds will go towards repairing damage at our facility, as well as helping with increased utility costs facing our program. Hearing the way we impact our clients, we hope that you can see how vital it is that we get back to our work as soon as possible. The impact that we have with our residents creates a ripple effect of success throughout our community.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Clausen. I am a co-founder and director of operations for Clipped In for Life. We're a nonprofit here in El Dorado County, and our mission is to help people of all ages and abilities find achievement, adventure, and connection through cycling. We are applying for an $8,000 ACORN grant, and the name of our application is the Grom Ride Club, shifting kids off screens and onto bikes. So our organization has a 9-year history of putting on cycling events in the greater Sacramento area for thousands of participants. We've put on over 175 mountain bike and cyclocross races over the years. What we're really finding a need for now is for the adventure and the connection side of what we hope to bring people through cycling, especially in the areas of youth. We spent couple years telling our kids that they needed to be inside on their screens. That was how they needed to interact with the world. And now that we're coming out of the pandemic, we need to rethink that. All of us as kids had the opportunity to get on our bikes, explore the neighborhood, go meet up with other kids, and just adventure. Let's use that free time, that free space, that unorganized play that really helps enrich your life. So that's what this grant would help kickstart. It would allow up to 50 kids on the western slope of El Dorado County to become part of a ride club for kids. We affectionately call our elementary school aged Groms. They're little grommets. So it would start an 8-week program kicked off this fall by a local coach that has had years of experience in leading kids that age. Would partner ride leaders with small groups of kids and let them get out on the trails twice a week to find that adventure and connection through cycling. It would be based out of Browns Ravine at Folsom Lake, but also utilize the other trails throughout El Dorado County. This initial ride season in fall 2023 would have capacity to accommodate up to 50 kids. So it would directly impact them, but we would also have space for 20 or so ride leaders out on the trails. You definitely need people leading the groups, sweeping behind them. So a chance to get adults out on the trails as well, connecting with nature and connecting with kids. In addition to the dozens of races that we have put on over the years, so all the experience that we have in getting people registered, coming up with a safety plan, medical plans, everything needed to have a safe and fun time out on your bikes. We also have a precedent in that we have done a ride club for middle school age kids for the past 2 seasons. We call it our 6, 7, 8 ride club. So we definitely have experience in putting these on. Just need to expand this to the elementary school aged and work in even more precautions and the ways that we're making sure we wrangle kids of that age so it's a fun, safe experience. Our goals with the Grom Ride Club are threefold. One, we want to give kids the chance to learn bike handling skills, how to be safe out on the trails. We want to give them a chance to find adventure out on the trails and in the area that we call home. And lastly, we want to give them a chance to connect with other kids their age that are excited to be on bikes as well and foster those connections, not just during the ride club, but during other times, their free space that they can go out and play with like-minded kids. This program would positively impact our community because it's giving kids the chance to get out on bikes, relearn those skills. We have an amazing place that we live here on the Western Slope, and teaching kids what their backyards have to offer and how they can connect with other kids, how they can find that free space, spark the love for being out on their bikes, and then not make that just this 8-week program that they're a part of, but something that they can incorporate into their lifestyle throughout the year. We also aim to create another alternative to traditional sports. There's a lot of sports out there that do great things, soccer, baseball, swimming, but there are a number of kids that these traditional sports, for whatever reason, just don't work well for. Mountain biking is a fantastic way to let them independently achieve their very best, but still do that as a part of community and other kids that enjoy something the same. So it has that long-term balance of things that you can do in your free time, even if you're by yourself. So that's a way it makes not just these kids' lives better, but can hopefully trickle into their friends, their peers, their families, and into the entire community.
Hello, my name is CJ.
My name is Haley.
I attend Charter College and Career Prep, which is a part of a charter alternative program through the El Dorado County Office of Education. Our mission at Charter College and Career Prep, a 9th through 12th campus, is that students experience personal success in an environment which values their individuality and prioritizes compassion, empathy, and integrity for them to act on their beliefs with understanding and courage so they may enrich the communities in which they live. Our emphasis is to aid students and families to maintain graduation track, high school acceleration, and or credit recovery through the implementation of specialization in an individualized and whole child approach to reach both academic and personal life success.
The grant program we are seeking at Charter College and Career Prep is the Focus on Wellness Initiative, and we are seeking the full amount offered for 2023, $8,500. We aim to continue to stabilize as well as aid in healing students, families, and communities within El Dorado County through the Focus on Wellness Initiative. Multi-tiered services and programs will be offered ranging from a wellness space, basic and emergency funds, and additional program elements to aid in teen resilient development. Additionally, the program will connect school, home, and community through multiple communication resources, allowing for care and connection regardless of the ruralness, geography, weather, or transportation. We will continue to fulfill resources need through the Focus on Wellness initiative of helping to offer programming that aids in healing students and families that face societal obstacles in food, financial instability, health, mental health, and addiction problems.
The allocation of funds for the Focus on Wellness initiative will occur through a variety of programs. The wellness space will be allocated $3,000 due to the size of the room for the wellness space. Room dividers are needed to create 2 separate office spaces for the marriage and family therapist staff that offer services to students. These offices will allow for individual and direct therapy offerings while maintaining an additional community space. We will have $3,000 allotted to enable wellness programs, classes, and field trips. Associated costs are mainly supplies, gear, equipment, and transportation. $1,500 will be allocated for basic emergency needs funds. Some of our high-need student populations are Foster and McKinney-Vento, which account for 20% of the school population. Students that are not Foster or McKinney-Vento do have needs that rise infrequently. Requests for help have stabilized significantly after adjustment from the pandemic and fires to around $100 a month for miscellaneous needs of aid in transportation, clothing, and or household products for care. A large amount is allocated for initial development while also sized to maintain wellness programs as long as possible. Lastly, $500 will be portioned for the communication corner. We are a designated community school for El Dorado County, which means that students come from all over the western slope. Connecting, providing resources, and assisting can be limited due to rural nature of this county. Thus, allocating funds for online development to stay connected and providing families, students, and communities regardless of limitations that may arise.
Charter College and Career Prep is a community school that serves grades 9th through 12th on the western slope of El Dorado County. The goal of the Focus Wellness Initiative is to serve all students enrolled in conjunction with their families as pertains to programming. It also integrates community volunteer agencies and businesses who want to partner.
Our enrollment is maintained at 100 students due to the specialization offered. In combining families and students, the number of clientele served is a minimum of 300, but with the Focus on Wellness initiative, we aim to continue to connect with comprehensive high schools as well as local and regional nonprofits in conjunction to other educational serving programs and businesses. With these new partnerships, we could potentially impact 400 to 500 members of our El Dorado County community.
The execution of the Focus on Wellness Initiative grant program will collaborate approach of all staff within Charter College and Career Prep, in conjunction to additional relevant El Dorado County Office of Education staff and community partners. There will be a main facilitator within our campus that will ensure timely implementation, but staff and partners will also have the opportunity to contribute based upon expertise.
El Dorado County has been impacted significantly by the pandemic and numerous natural disasters due to its rural and suburban demographic, was not provided as many large-scale resources as many urban centers. Students and families feel the impact, and the Focus on Wellness initiative strives to complete the connection and to be the difference between education, community, and social needs within El Dorado County. Helping its students and families, as well as setting an example for how resiliency and the grit of students, families, staff, and the community is developed. Children can go through highly challenging and adverse conditions and still go on to be successful adults, have stable relationships, and to be contributing community members. Research supports 90% of youth resilient success occurs through education.
But as the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child. Charter College and Career Prep is asking you to unite as a village.
To be the difference in so many people's lives in El Dorado County. Please join us.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Julie Schultz, and I am the CEO and founder of Hands and Hooves Day Camp for Youth. We have the great privilege of being selected as one of the finalists for the Women's Fund El Dorado grant, and we applied for an ACORN grant. So we are gladly sharing our youth camp with you to hopefully be one of the contenders selected. Our day camp is an outdoor adventure connecting horses, nature, art, friendship, and discovery with kids 6 to 14 years of age in the El Dorado area, including the western slope of the Sierras. Our mission statement is that Hands and Hooves provides a safe place to support youth as they explore a new environment and merge with the spirit of the land and animals through equine facilitated learning and bonding with horses. Engendering acceptance, trust, and self-esteem, focusing on respect for nature and the local El Dorado National Forest, enhanced by artistic expression. About our camp, we are a nonprofit camp, again, for kids ages 6 to 14 years old. We have a private ranch here in Pollock Pines located in the Sly Park area. The educational center on Sly Park is our neighbor, and so we share the El Dorado National Forest, which is a great, beautiful area to bring the kids through to enjoy outdoor exploration and just wonderful nature walks down by the creek. We provide this program free through donations and volunteers so that all are welcome and everyone can be included. We have brought kids out to camp now for the last couple of years, and we continue to expand and grow. And with the generous donations and contributions that we're receiving, we continue to provide this program free of cost. We bring the kids to camp and with various attractions. One of our attractions is a Native American teepee that the kids get to go inside, and we talk to them about how the Miwok Indians lived here at one time, and that this was their tribal land, and that they were here, living off the land. And so we explain that to them some, and we have some activities playing with drums and various musical instruments that Native Americans enjoy in ceremony. And we explore the grinding rocks that are on the property from when the Miwoks lived here, which is really interesting. We have horseplay that makes the day special for everyone, and it's a major part of the day. We have 3 horses and a mini horse and a donkey that participate in the program, and it helps the kids start on a basic journey with how horses behave, how to communicate with horses, safety around horses while they're meeting the animals and starting their hands-on exploration. We get to know the horses by doing some grooming, and everyone gets a chance to know the animals and allows everyone to feel comfortable being around them. Afterwards, they learn how to become confident in a partnership while learning to lead them around the arena and using the tools, the tack that we have for the horses to lead with. They learn how to become confident in a partnership, and everyone has gained experience while they learn how to navigate with the horse in an obstacle course. And it's full of fun and challenging objects that they learn to overcome. Improved confidence and self-esteem and teamwork and leadership are some of the skills that they embrace while doing this challenge, as well as emotional and physical bonding. It's a remarkable benefit for the kids while they're working with the animals. The rewards for everything that has been accomplished during the horse session are vast and plentiful for kids, but the horses in the end enjoy the apples that they get fed by the kids while they're painting on a canvas with food coloring, and it is a really cool watercoloring display that they get to keep and bring home with them as a little special gift to them from the horses. This is our herd, and they are all well trained and well handled horses, and the donkey and the llama as well, which the kids get to meet on their exploration through the forest. Little man likes to come out and visit with them and interact with them, which is a lot of fun for the kids. Creativity and art inspired by nature and the great outdoors. They go down by the creek and they get to explore the forest and all of its beauty. They go on a treasure hunt or a scavenger hunt kind of thing, and they bring these items back to the art table, and they get to make talking sticks and other really cool art projects that they get to take home with them. While they're journeying down the path and learning about nature, while they're hiking to the creek, there's some forest friends that they meet, and just a really cool experience painting rocks. And we have them place them in a labyrinth and leaving a little treasure behind for the next group that come out to explore camp the following month. Collect what inspires you is what we tell them while you're out there in the forest. And nature has so many gifts, and we use these different things that we find in nature to for building materials for the art projects. After they come back from the hike, they go up on the deck, and we have so many volunteers that come out to support these kids and help them with their art projects, with the nature hikes, with the exploration in the teepee. And their experience with the horses is done one-on-one with volunteers that have great equine experience. The positive impact of this program is the Hands and Hooves Outdoor Day Camp activities provides youth an opportunity to explore a new environment while connecting with others, making new friends, bonding with animals, exploring nature, and expressing their creativity through art. That helps build confidence and self-esteem, enabling independence and self-expression, while gaining inspiration and respect for nature and the outdoors. They're just some of the benefits that happens here at our outdoor camp for kids. How we would use our grant and our 2023 goals. The ACORN grant would allow us to continue to provide this camp at no cost to the families, which is very important to us because we want all to attend. The grant will cover the cost of art supplies, materials for the camp, feed supplements, and vet costs for the herd. That is an integral part of the camp. Hands and Hooves is on track to serve over 80 families in the 2023 season. In addition, we are building a bond with organizations such as the Girl Scouts of America, Big Brothers and Sisters, the Boys and Girls Club, just to mention a few. Additionally, we are mentoring a junior volunteer program, which involves the local high schools in El Dorado County, and they have established FFA, ROP, and 4-H programs that they need to do community service hours, and so they love coming out here and attending camp and being part of our junior volunteer program. If you'd like to contact me to learn more about our program, or if you have any questions, there's my phone number direct to me, and my email address, and as well our website. So if you know of anybody that would love this program and would want to volunteer, or their kids would want to participate, we'd love to see you out here. Thank you for your time, and thank you for the privilege of choosing us as one of the opportunities to receive this grant this year. Thank you.
We are applying for an $8,000 ACORN grant. The title of our project is Equine Assisted Therapy for Women Living with PTSD. Equine Assisted Psychotherapy, or EAP, has been used with excellent outcomes for veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, historically termed shell shock. In 2021, the Women's Issues Committee of the El Dorado chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution recognized that the psychic stress suffered by female veterans is both similar to and different from the impacts more commonly seen among their male counterparts. Women vets encounter many more challenges related to sexual abuse, and their avenues for redress are often blocked by their own needs to maintain a strong front and to not be treated differently from their male peers. We became aware of the EAP program at Hart's Landing in Granite Bay and began fundraising to provide partial scholarships for female veterans to access these services. Working with the Veterans Administration and aided by funding from the El Dorado chapter of DAR, Hart's Landing has provided a complete course of therapy for 5 women veterans.
Sure. We work with all kinds of clients who are coming from a variety of backgrounds, but we especially are interested in working with these veterans who are experiencing PTSD and how that's impacting their lives in such a profoundly negative way. So we've developed an 8-week program where we're going to be having veterans participate in a variety of activities, and they're designed in large measure to help the veterans come to a sense of safety, both within themselves and in their environment, and then go through the process of grieving and mourning the things that have happened to them, and then also recognize that the things that have happened to them don't need to define them, and that they don't prevent them from being able to move forward in their lives and bring to the world the gifts that they have. So that'll be our focus in trying to move from that place to a better place of health and recovery. And it'll just be a beginning. It's 8 sessions, and it's not going to be a cure-all, but we're hoping that the veterans that experience that are able to let that be a foundation for them to step out of and move forward with their lives.
Thank you. Do you want to add some more, Donna?
Well, we were just talking earlier about the impact that we've seen. In fact, another one of our therapists, a licensed social worker, was here, and she often says we can do more out here and have a bigger impact out here than she can having talk therapy.
This year, we hope to expand those opportunities to women who, though not veterans, are living with post-traumatic stress and depression related to sexual abuse, childhood trauma, and other adversities that have overwhelmed their own ability to cope. Dr. Caroline Giroux, a professor of psychiatry at the University of California, Davis, specializes in treating the sequelae of adverse childhood events, ACE. She has found that talk-based therapy is greatly enhanced when experiential kinesthetic therapies, such as equine-assisted therapy, are employed. Often people cannot talk their way through issues of acute childhood trauma because the trauma occurred before they had language adequate to describe their feelings. A recent 60 Minutes episode showcased a program for prisoners working with horses. Rio Cosumnes Correctional Center in Elk Grove has a similar program. These programs have helped prisoners develop empathy, learn impulse control, and find a core of strength, bravery, skill, and self-efficacy they did not know they had. Women living with the effects of abuse show similar needs for help in pulling down their carefully constructed protective barriers that also prevent them from establishing healthy relationships and succeeding in their lives. We have begun outreach to mental health providers on the western slope of El Dorado County to let them know about EAP at Hart's Landing. We daughters intend to continue to support this program and fund as many scholarships as we can, but we are here to ask for your help. The $8,000 ACORN grant we have requested from you will allow us to provide full scholarships for 5 women living in your communities whose therapists believe will benefit from equine-assisted therapy. We believe these women will become more aware of their own strength, will begin learning to trust and be trustworthy, and to function more effectively in their families, their jobs, and in their communities. Thank you so much for your time and consideration.
Hi, I'm Ernie Laurie with the El Dorado County Fire Safe Council. I'm the coordinator for the Seniors, Veterans, and Low-Income Family Defensible Space Assistance. The primary mission of the El Dorado County Fire Safe Council is to protect the properties of the Western Slope through education, cooperation, innovation, and action. The action I want to talk about today is to help veterans, seniors, and low-income people develop defensible space. As you can see here, there's many different ways in which we can help the people who are needing assistance. One of the greatest impacts that we can have to help those seniors, veterans, and low income is to reduce the fire risk to their residents by fulfilling the mandates by CAL FIRE 4291 as well as the county ordinance 5101. We can also increase the firefighters' response efforts to house fires as well as potential wildfires coming into the area. This will also allow other types of emergency personnel to render assistance to the residents. But it also prevents home neighbor to neighbor type of ignitions where fire starts at your home, but then it can spread to your neighbors' homes. And this will also give the seniors, veterans a sense of well-being. It's a three-step process: outreach, evaluations, homeowners agreements, and defensible space development. Our goal is to get as close to the mandates associated with the Public Resource Code 4291. And this is what the CAL FIRE inspectors and other fire department inspectors are looking at, as well as trying to fulfill the requirements for the county ordinance 5101, which has additional mandates besides the 4291. Defensible space outreach, as we can see, we need to get to inform these people that there's ways to help them. The El Dorado County Fire Safe Council and Friends of Seniors have Facebook information, as well as the 30 associate fire safe councils throughout the Western Slope to give that information to the people who may be needing help. We also put out flyers, newspaper articles, presentations to seniors and veterans groups, as well as Meals on Wheels volunteers, notifying people who possibly need help to get in contact with us. Some of the things that before and after pictures showing what it looks like before the development occurs and then after defensible space development occurs. Dried grass, plants right up next to the house, ladder fuel, which we call from the ground up so that the fire doesn't go into the canopy. We have contractors that will be doing the work, cutting small trees, removing bushes, raking pine needles around propane tanks and stove oil tanks, and just removing any of the dried materials that could possibly have the fire migrate to the home. As depicted here, dry grass is a very important thing to try to reduce by cutting them down so that the fire doesn't migrate as quickly as if they were still standing. An example of our efforts so far in the year 2022, we were able to do 170 properties. As being seen here, there's about 140 seniors that were assisted, 46 veterans, and 60 low-income family homes had development space done on them. But there's some combinations. Some of the seniors were also veterans or in low-income categories. Over the last 8 years, we've completed over 625 different defensible space developments through grant awards. This year, we are asking the Women's Fund El Dorado to support developing 100 defensible space on private properties. We are also looking for having grant money from SMUD County Veterans Mini Grant, the Friends of Seniors El Dorado, and the Department of Agriculture Title III funds. In conclusion, I greatly appreciate your support and providing funds so that we can help the seniors, veterans, and low-income people on the Western Slope to protect their homes and assets. Thank you very much.
The mission of Hands for Hope is to inspire and empower youth leadership and service.
So the $8,000 we applied for will go right to the heart of food insecurity in El Dorado County. Titled Empowering Youth to Make Positive Change During Challenging Times, our grant will help provide for the most needy, food insecure students, families, and individuals, while also providing a sense of purpose to students.
Over the course of the year, we will serve about 9,000 individuals in need.
Hands for Hope Youth gains skills in leadership and communication while helping to fill unmet needs in our society.
The Women's Fund grant will directly support us as we help different outreach projects. The grant will also provide training and mentorship for 250 youth, giving them a deeper understanding of challenges faced by their fellow students, families, and individuals.
Over the past 4 years, I've been lucky to collaborate with, been the recipient of efforts outcomes, and had families I serve assisted by Hands for Hope. The families I work with benefit most directly from the school supply distribution, Winter Boutique, and the Hands for Hope food closet, which have each served many of our most vulnerable families at some of the hardest times and the greatest need.
During the pandemic, Hands for Hope took over EDCOE's emergency food pantry, partnered with the El Dorado Community and West Slope Foundations to support Calder fire victims, duplicated its school supply distribution, and partnered with Aspire Outfitters. We also took over Empty Bowls volunteer coordination and increased volunteer support with BBBS, Food Bank of EDC, and others to serve those impacted by the challenges of the last few years.
West Slope Foundation are so honored to work side by side with Hands for Hope by providing clothing, toiletries, food, anything that the survivors need. We know that we can turn to Hands for Hope.
At our distributions, it's so cool when you see all the different organizations and everything that are helping the Caldor fire survivors.
In 2022, $149,780 in supplies was collected and distributed, serving 8,000 individuals. Needs continue to grow as economic factors and storms add to layers of challenges.
So we would partner with Hands for Hope with a youth committee that was formed, and they have been incredibly helpful in helping us sort the clothes so that they can be organized and ready so that when we get a call at Aspire Kids for families or students that need clothes, we can serve those kids as fast as possible.
Just loved having Hands for Hope here on Saturdays and on so many levels because the kids are great. And they're fun to talk to, and they're so helpful. And the guests really love seeing the young people. I think they really feel special knowing that teenagers are up at this hour and willing to give of their time to serve them. And so Hands for Hope has just become an integral part of Common Ground.
The pandemic, the Caldor and mosquito fires, and the recent storms have significantly increased the need in our community. The Women's Fund grant will greatly help Hands for Hope reach our objective to provide household staples to food insecure students, families, and individuals in our community.
Hi, Women's Fund El Dorado. It's Amy Pooley, Executive Director for CASA El Dorado. CASA stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates, and it is our mission to support, empower, and provide a voice for abused and neglected youth in El Dorado County. We were established in 1992 by Judge Patrick Riley and have been serving kids in our community for about 31 years. In support of this mission, we requested an $8,000 impact grant from Women's Fund El Dorado to help cover the continued cost of recruiting and training our court-appointed advocates. Specifically, funds will be used to cover a portion of the salary for our program director, as this position is responsible for the ongoing interviews, background screening, and training of all advocate candidates. On average, per year, 200 El Dorado County youth are detained from their homes due to abuse and neglect.
These funds will help us provide training and recruiting for 16 advocates who will then serve 16 youth like James.
James was 14 when, while changing clothes after gym class, his classmates saw his body covered with bruises and told the teacher. He had gone to live with his father after his mother was murdered. His father would drink and then beat him with a belt. His stepmother stuffed a rag in his mouth so they wouldn't have to listen to him scream. Because the beatings were so severe, the juvenile court judge ordered that he immediately be placed in a foster home and a CASA volunteer advocate, Gary, be appointed. Over the next 6 months, Gary met with James weekly. He also met with his foster parents, biological parents, teachers, school counselor, and therapists. Based on these meetings, and most importantly, his relationship with James, Gary prepared a 7-page fact-based report for the judge. He relayed that James was happy in his foster home and terrified of being sent back to live with his father. He was able to present a detailed picture of a polite, somewhat immature boy with a speech impediment whose schoolwork suffered due to ADHD. He recommended that James remain with the foster family and that trauma counseling and speech therapy be included in his care. His recommendations were accepted, and in subsequent reports over the following year, he was able to report that James had joined a church youth group, had learned to bowl, and was doing better in school with plans to go on to college. That was 4 years ago. Last spring, James graduated from high school with a 3.0 GPA and is in college. Due to his experiences with his CASA, he chose to remain in foster care as a young adult in the AB-12 program. He continues his therapy sessions and considers his foster family as now his real family.
Our CASA volunteers help children in need build resilience to ACEs, or adverse childhood experiences. Intervening in an at-risk or foster youth's life with a CASA helps address generational trauma and directly intercedes with the cycle of these children passing on their own trauma to their own children. Thank you, Women's Fund El Dorado, for considering our funding proposal. We look forward to working with you as a community partner.
Assistance League Sierra Foothills members are transforming the lives of children and adults through 6 unique philanthropic programs in El Dorado County. With under 90 member volunteers, minimal fixed overhead, and donations from supporters such as the Women's Fund, we operate these programs, returning approximately 80% of all dollars directly to the communities we serve. You may be familiar with our signature program, Operation School Bell, to which the Women's Fund has graciously donated in the past. This year, we come to you with a request for an impact grant of $7,500, which we will put to work in 4 of our smaller programs. The first of these is Bags for Belongings. We provide duffel bags for youth who are transitioning between living situations, often foster homes. Adriana Webb, New Morning's Ashby House Shelter Director, shares that many youth come in homeless, carrying their belongings in trash bags or laundry baskets, and with the donations we receive from Assistance League, we're able to provide them with a bag to properly store their belongings. Impact grant funds will enable us to put these bags into the hands of almost double the number of youth we currently can. Books and Beyond is the second program we hope you will support. Currently, our members, many of whom are retired teachers, work with 2nd and 3rd grade students who are reading below grade level to help develop the children's reading comprehension skills and confidence. The impact of COVID-19 restrictions left many of our youngest students behind, especially in 2nd and 3rd grades. The teacher of some 3rd grade students provided an example of the impact our volunteers have on individual students. She reported that 3 students in the program seem more confident to share in our reading groups and are having much more success passing standardized tests. The Impact Grant would allow us to provide books and literacy experiences to even more students. Seniors in residential communities are the beneficiaries of our third program, SMILE. Using craft projects as the vehicle, Assistance League members provide much-needed social interaction and motor skills practice to seniors. The Skilled Activity Director at Gold Country Retirement Center reports that the impact of SMILE is very high because all of our residents have so many types of personalities, and no matter the level of their ability, the volunteers have made each resident feel loved and accomplished. This program is being expanded into a second facility this spring, so your support will mean that even more seniors can have this valuable experience. This second facility and funds from the Impact Grant will double the number of seniors who will indeed smile. The final program your generosity will help fund, and is our biggest ask, is scholarships. While lots of groups give scholarships for post-secondary education, our focus is different. We currently have two types of scholarships: community service and students who have overcome significant personal challenges and have financial need. For the first time last year, we chose to support a young lady who had survived horrific domestic violence and wanted to go to cosmetology school. When we read in her letter of recommendation, she's more than the sum of her GPA, and some people see stubbornness. We see determination. We knew we wanted to help her achieve her goal. We also knew that those words probably applied to many kids who were unable or not planning to attend a traditional college. This spurred our determination to formalize a third category of scholarship encompassing alternate fields like cosmetology, construction, or medical assisting. With your assistance, we will be able to expand our ability to provide recognition and support of deserving students who want to continue with their education by 50%. An Impact Grant will help us expand these four programs, enabling us to reach up to twice as many individuals benefiting from the programs. It will allow us to expand some of the programs into new areas as we work to evolve to continuously meet the changing needs of our community. As presented, the $7,500 we're requesting will allow us to realize our vision of transforming the lives of children and adults through community programs in a more encompassing manner. Thank you for considering partnering with Assistance League Sierra Foothills. It's only through the combined time and efforts of our members and the generosity of the community that we can continue to do the work we do in El Dorado County.
Yes, our organization is the National Alliance on Mental Illness of El Dorado County. And since our mission is to provide information, support, and advocacy for people impacted by mental health challenges, I've been wanting to do something to address student mental health. And after I learned that many high school students here in El Dorado County are suffering from anxiety, depression, and more, and they don't know about all the resources available, I wanted to be able to do something about it. The Women's Fund grant just happened to come into my email box right at the time I was thinking how time and space are such huge obstacles to overcome. The idea of using social media to explore mental health problems and solutions sprung up in the midst of this. If awarded the grant, I would hire a social media consultant to teach the skills required, such as photography, graphics, videography, and journalism. And this person will help monitor and supervise the development and production of the student work. We want to recruit 20 to 25 students to create a social media campaign that potentially can reach the entire student community and beyond. First, I will reach out to community partners who are involved in the Community Health Improvement Plan and find out what their priorities are and how we can help. And we will take their issues and turn them into scenarios for students to develop stories on. We will set up, once we recruit students and get their permission slips signed and so forth, we'll set up a schedule for meeting. We'll meet once a week for 12 weeks, and we'll have individual and small group contact and contact with their parents in between each meeting. So they will be producing content and uploading content according to the scheduling that the social media professional will supervise. Okay, so social media has analytics. So it can track who lands on the page. It can track who has followed up by clicking on a link. If we use forms to capture, like say, click on this link if you want more information about getting a therapist, or click on this link if you want more information about overcoming obesity or whatever. So the analytics can show the engagement of the audience. That's one way. And the other way is we will have a pre and post survey to have students report their wellness behaviors, and we'll see if there's a change. I've been in touch with social media consultants, and I'm trying to select the one that I think would be the best fit. So we'll hire, and then we'll strategize, and then we'll implement coming in the fall. Yeah, we do see this as an exciting opportunity to be part of the county's health improvement plan. And I sure hope we get this grant.
Me too.